Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crazy Ladies Podcast. I'm Mistress Magi.
And I guess I'm Mr. Magi.
I hope so. If not, we've got some issues.
Well, there is a guy in the closet, right?
Yes, that's true. Although I do think that he's skin and bones by now.
Yeah. That's what
Sorry, inside joke. Today's topic is going to be male ego and the Gillette commercial.
Yeah. We've had some time to mull this over.
Yeah. And we're free of baby tonight. Well, okay, he's in bed. He actually went to bed. So it's all good.
Hallelujah.
So we watched this commercial together. We tried to record something, but kept getting interrupted. So everything got kind of pushed off to the side, and now we're dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts?
Mine?
No, Phil's, or,
Okay.
Well,
I
I'm just making up names.
kind of tuned out there, and yeah. Anyway,
It's you and me in this room. Who
I
else
know.
would I be asking?
I don't know. I'm kind of... Yeah. All right.
Oh, I love you.
Anyway, so, yes, my views, my opinion. Personally, I'm on Gillette's with this. Even looking at their old slogan, the best a man could get, that slogan really didn't pertain to
It was
the
the
man.
best
It's-
razor that
the
he
best
could get.
razor that you could get
Yeah.
at the time. And for a while there, I agree. In today's world, not so much.
No.
There are just as good razors and companies and that. Really, it's personal preference. Yeah. So, for us, or for me anyway, I get what they're trying to do, and it is something that's definitely needed in today's world.
It is. It's for sure needed. It's what it is that we're teaching our children. And personally, I think everybody should be teaching their kids it, because you're going to end up with more respect towards both groups. Women are going to feel that they're more respected, therefore they're not going to be looking for, a guy who treats them right constantly. And that's not saying that she shouldn't go look for a guy that treats her right. She needs to feel confident in herself. And especially like going out and all that, she needs to feel confident in her surroundings and herself. And if she doesn't, she's gonna kind of,
Yeah.
she's not gonna feel right.
Yeah, and
And
she's not going to want
to
to
be
put herself...
her best.
She doesn't want to put herself out there, being mistreated so often and whatnot. So a funny thing. So the premise of the commercial is basically saying that we as men and boys, we can do better. We can be better people. And at the end of the day, that's the message that they're trying to say, is that we can all probably be a better person.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter male or female. I know I used Gillette at one, in my life.
Well, they have a women's line, right?
It's not just for men. And honestly, I think that the line, like that saying, is for both.
Yeah, exactly. Because, see, it's weird because men as a whole get treated as jerks and assholes and everything else.
But whole.
But then you break it down, and then you have your individual males
cliques.
and whatnot, and cliques,
and then your individual person itself.
Right, and I had a conversation with a guy today, and it was funny. He was very much he was older, not really old, but definitely from that generation of being raised a certain way, and
being raised, the men don't cry, and you have to be macho,
right.
And in order to sweep a woman off of her feet, you need to woohoo and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But in talking with this guy, he was very kind. I didn't feel intimidated or threatened by him.
Yeah.
And we were swimming. We were in a pool, and and that whole, he didn't he had obviously an old body,
Yeah.
that, if he had if he was ripped or chiseled, I still wouldn't feel intimidated by this guy if he had a better body than me, right?
And although guys do feel the intimidation of, like, this is what a man should look like, at the same time, it's not pushed on them as much. Dad bods are just as out there as the chiseled Arnold Schwarzenegger body.
Yeah.
It's
not
weird.
So much anymore, Arnold. Maybe The Rock. Let's use The Rock.
Okay, The Rock. You know what? Arnold has been working out and is trying to get it back. Yeah. For
his age.
For different movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go on Pinterest. You see some of those. They have old guys, and these guys are pushing 60, almost 70, and they're fucking just ripped to the nines. And
yeah, and guys, although guys do feel that intimidation, they don't feel it as much as women do. And it's not just from the media. It's just walking down the street. It's I've been catcalled from a car once, only once. Didn't inflate my ego too much. But no, when it comes to what it is that women go through compared to guys, women are put through more of a microscope, I guess you could say, than guys.
I agree.
And most of it is from the male species. And unfortunately, it includes dangerous situations.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
It's kind of like the whole thing that I used to say. Aliens looking down on us as a whole, we're stupid. Individually, we're different.
Yeah, and you pick out those examples and whatnot, and we can prove that, yeah, for the most part, as a human society, we're pretty intelligent. And
we're very intelligent, but at the same time, we have the fear.
Yeah.
It's, you have an alien spaceship come down, everybody's running around with their heads cut off, and the aliens didn't do it, we just did it ourselves. Like, we're just running around that way. It's like, oh God, they're gonna destroy us.
I know, and again, take a singular woman, walking down the street, and then take a group of 4 or more guys. That woman's gonna either eventually cross the street so she doesn't have to go through because
or clinch up,
or be very tense while walking through them. Now, there are some women out there that just go, yeah, well, fuck, whatever, I don't care, and just keep going. Kudos to them, by all means.
Yeah. Me being a shy person, although I can handle my own when it comes to anything. It depends how you're feeling that
day, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's like, whatever, I'll just fucking knock the fucker out. But other times
when I'm
it's
walking
like,
through them, it's different. When I'm walking through them, it's that fear. But if they started something, then I have to finish it.
Exactly, right?
It's just the way that I'm wired.
Right. And, well, again, today, it's funny we're talking about this because I've seen, a few examples. Just one major one today. So, on my way, was it home? Yeah, it was on my way home from the pool, the Y. We swim at the Y. We were on our way home, and I was stopped at the intersection, and there was a guy at one end and a girl at the other, and it was a younger girl, probably 20-ish, maybe 18, probably university.
Late 20s or
early 20s, late teens,
early 20s.
Right. And then there was this other guy who, he was probably 40-ish. He had a beard, scruffy looking, but yet put together, right? And kind of large in size, he wasn't small. He had a little stock to him, but I mean, you could tell he was a working man, he worked, right? Or maybe he was crossing to catch a bus or something to go to work. But it was funny to watch these two because then their light changed and they're walking and they're walking towards each other, right? And then kind of at that halfway point, the guy just keeps walking. He was paying no mind to her. He didn't look at her.
Guys are completely oblivious.
He didn't check her out or anything like that. He was like, I got to cross the street and I got to pass someone, right? Going the opposite way. kept his eyes forward. He didn't, do the whole 180 turn around, check it out, right? But the girl, kind of at that halfway point, and before, at least probably 20 feet before they actually crossed paths, she started cutting the lanes, right? Just so she didn't have to be in overly close proximity to this guy and to
guys,
carry on her way.
They walk around and they have absolute, they're oblivious completely to it. And I've noticed that, on the internet especially, you see guys and they're talking and it's like, well, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a woman have to worry about that. And it's just like, yeah, but you don't pay attention. You don't see what it is that we do as women to protect ourselves, because guys are scary.
Yeah. Well,
guys as a whole are very intimidating, very scary, and you don't know what it is that you have up. And let's face it, yes, in most cases, the guys are stronger than the girls. I'm not going to say always, because there's some girls that I know who could whip
my
guys.
ass.
Yeah, basically. But at the same time, I know the only reason in which I would come close to winning in a fight is because I'm stubborn as hell.
Yeah.
I'm stubborn, and he will just get exhausted by the time I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know this. I know that that's just the way that I am. It's blind rage at that point. But at the same time, I'm still terrified that, somebody's gonna, they're gonna come at me and I'm gonna end up in an alleyway raped or something like that. And I've never experienced rape myself. That's still a fear for me. Yeah. That's still a fear for a lot of women, because guess what? It kind of happens, and the guys don't really get punished for it.
Yeah.
You end up with sexual harassment. Guys don't get punished for it.
Yeah. Just another case. A few years ago, my brother and I, we were hanging out one day, and he pulled into my parking lot, and we parked, and we sat there for a minute, talked, and then we got out and we started walking towards their door. And there was a girl who happened to pass by the vehicle kind of just as we got out. So, I kind of get her initial fear, right? You're walking all by yourself, and then all of a sudden there's two guys behind you.
Yeah.
Right? Which, okay, I get. Well, my brother and I, just because we didn't want to spook her too much, we kind of slowed our walk down. And trying to be courteous to her, right?
Yeah.
So we slowed our walk down so that she could have that good distance, and she had plenty of distance. So we started walking, and it just happened to be the same direction, and it was at night.
And I bet you that she was scared.
All of a sudden,
shitless.
Well, yeah, because she kind of let out a little scream and then took off running towards the door. Right, and you can hear the keys jingling as she's trying to pull them out of her purse, and
yeah.
My brother and I, we just turned to each other like, what the hell? We're trying to go home, and
yeah, but she doesn't know that. All she sees is two big guys,
right, and
coming at her and following her, and
it does become a bit of a double-edged sword, right? Because we scared her into doing that, and she felt she had to do.
She felt like she had to do that.
She had to do
protect
that
herself.
And go. The other side of it is, just because we're men, we got prejudged.
Yeah.
That we're terrible people and we're going to take advantage of you.
Yeah, and honestly, from a woman's perspective, it's not the guy, it's not the individual guy. It's the fear of, you have all these scenarios running through your head. And then if something does happen, it's your fault. Yeah. You get victim blamed for it.
Right.
You're the one who is like, oh, well, you shouldn't have been doing this. Not the guy who did what was wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, no guy should be judged, but at the same time, it's like, how can we not judge you when scary shit happens, and it happens a lot.
Exactly, and that's the
it's
rub,
nothing
right?
against you guys. It's what it is that we have been instilled our entire lives. It's our fault if something happens.
Turn on the news, and
Well, look at my grandmother.
Locally, where we live, we don't hear a lot of stories of rape. So when they do come up here, they're a big thing.
Yeah, like our city alone has had 4 or 5 sexual assaults just this summer from one potential guy.
Yeah.
And that was scary. Like, no woman walked alone. Like, I won't go out in public here alone. And if I do, it's like I park the closest I possibly can, and I'm in and out quickly.
Yeah.
But look at, I know it's years and years ago, but my grandmother, perfect example there. She was 16 years old. She was raped, and it was her fault. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody said. Even though it was just some random guy on the street, it was her fault. And,
again, go online. There's hundreds and hundreds of examples, but you see the women who are go butt ass naked and hold up a sign.
The ones who have the little stickers on their nipple and little itty bitty shorts.
Am I asking for it?
Yeah. At no point it could be walking down the street completely naked, and at no point would I be asking to be raped.
Yeah. Well, I heard an interesting thing on the radio today as well. Today was a great day for me. I kind of won the day, I think. So I heard on the radio, and it was this guy. He was telling a story. I guess he was a podcast host as well, and there happened to be this woman. She took a Uber to his house and everything like that, and they hooked up the night before, and he thought it ended kind of amicably. Sorry, I can't pronounce that word very well. But agreed to go their separate ways, and hey, thanks for the great time. Maybe
basically
someday
a planned one night
future.
stand.
Yeah, it was a planned one night stand, and but he was saying the next morning happened, and I wasn't like he said. I wasn't like okay, get your stuff, get out. Get the heck out of here. No, he was like, I made her breakfast, we had coffee, kind of took the morning, and then it was like, okay, I gotta get going, and he had to carry on his day, and same thing. Well, I guess maybe he thought one thing, she possibly thought another thing, and then I guess kind of went on it, not really on his show, but on social media, or the way he did his podcast, they were able to call in. It was almost like a radio kind of thing.
Okay.
And I guess the woman kind of went off, like, oh, he's such a jerk, and da-da-da, and kind of, freaking out.
Yeah,
and whatever.
I don't like women like that either.
So, and he said, in the future, because I guess this girl was also a bit of a fan as well, kind of knew who he was.
Yeah, I like how a lot of guys who are up there are like, yeah, no, I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to sleep with fans.
Yeah, he took.
You shouldn't be sleeping with fans anyway.
This is where I'm glad I'm married, because my biggest fan I married, so all good.
Yeah, before he got big.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean, wait, or because we're not famous yet. Anyway. A little satire.
No, I think it's the ego.
Yeah.
The big ego.
Anyway, so the other person he was talking with, it was a woman, and she was saying, too often there ends up being us as people, like both sides, women and men, that we get into these situations where, the way she put it, sometimes there's just this expectation.
Yeah.
Right? And she did say sometimes sex is easier than the expectation of what's to come of the
exactly.
evening, right?
Yeah.
But she also went on to say, also at the same time, we as humans, we tend to, or as people, we tend to just go along with the situation, even though we're a little uncomfortable or not feeling it, and we just kind of go through it and get through it, and then, okay.
And unfortunately,
Not
again,
that
that's
it's-
something that women end up doing a lot more than men
you're right.
because they feel like that they have to. You
Right.
have to please the man in order to get anywhere in life.
Yeah, but she did also go on saying that, you know, we have to get better at saying, okay, no, even though we might be in the thick of it or in the throw of it, you know, you could, and the best thing...
You could say no at any point.
Yeah, and the best thing that she said was that you both could be standing there and you could both be very naked.
Staring at each other.
And then one or the other. It doesn't...
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one.
Who. It's like, okay, nope.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of women who end up doing this exact same thing to men. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just like the man says, you know what, no. And the women are like, no, you're a man. You need, like, you think about sex all the time, what's wrong with me? And that's our insecurities. Mm-hmm. It's, well, he was interested and now he's not, so what happened? And a lot of the time that's what that is.
Women start to internalize that.
We're told that everything is basically women's fault. Mm-hmm. Women are crazy, we PMS, like, everything like that. We're just crazy bitches. And, yes, I am. But...
when you're PMSing, yes, you tend to get a little crazy, absolutely.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm more...
But nonetheless, it's
cryish.
You know, it's mood swings, right?
Yeah, it's mood swings because the hormone imbalance. It's not our, like, that is
it's
literally not our fault.
It's really not that there's something wrong with you or...
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm just crazy in general.
Yeah, you got that right.
But no, it's... women are told that basically everything is their fault. And men are told that nothing is their fault. A lot of the time. I'm not saying all the time. I'm more of the... Like, I'm a feminist, but I'm not a feminazi.
Yeah.
I am quite adamant about, you know, equal treatment between men and women. Men are allowed to cry. Women are allowed to be strong. Men are allowed, like, men can get raped. Women can get raped.
Yeah,
men
absolutely.
can be abused. Women can be abused. And it's not anything that's, like, a bashing to your masculinity. Mm-hmm. If you're being abused, it's all up here. It's all up in your head. It doesn't, like, I'm not saying that you're crazy. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying it messes with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anything. It's if you're being abused, you're the one who is getting harmed, both, like, physically and mentally. If you're being hit every time you're, quote, doing something wrong, that's going to mess with your head. Mm-hmm. It's never, in my opinion, it's never just physical abuse.
Right. Something that I've kind of learned about in the last few years, or more being an adult, I've learned about it, but just kind of a little more information over the last few years have come out about it, and I don't know how to word it, but in black culture, there's something called the down low.
Yeah, I've heard of that too, and I think that it's been talked about in certain TV shows as well, right?
Yeah, it's been talked about.
I think SVU was one of them.
They did a big thing about it, and
no, I'm on the down low. I'm not gay.
I'm not gay. I'm on the down low.
And that's just it.
And then they go.
Gay men come in all colors.
But they go and some of them say it's just sex, and it's not. I'm not gay or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, but also to that point.
I'm hoping that that's changing because, you know what, if you're gay and you're black, come out because you're just as beautiful as the rest of them.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make you any less of a man. You're still a man. Mm-hmm. You still have the XY chromosome.
But, you know, some other stories
or in some cases,
I've heard
the YY
about
chromosome.
You know, something that sometimes happens is that, you know, they get in these you're in this group setting, and
at least according to something like SVU.
Yeah,
right? We don't know the culture.
We don't know
itself.
for a fact. We don't know.
We've never been thrown into anything like that.
You know, we don't have very many black friends.
Not because we don't want them, but because there's really not a whole lot in this area.
Yeah. I have a good buddy. from elementary school, and yeah,
I have like every.
He's black, but you know, he's not someone I hang out with all the time. But I run into him in most random spots, you know, and say, "Hey, how's it going?"
And he's not on the down low that we know of.
Well, he's never mentioned it, right? You know,
but no,
I mean,
this area doesn't have a whole lot of like they do, but they don't have a whole lot of African American or African Canadians.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because we have a bunch of other races.
Yeah. Heavily, like, specifically where we are. We have a lot of East Indian, Nepal.
Yeah, that sort of area. A lot of, like...
Cambodia.
Yeah.
Vietnamese,
Asian.
I guess, would be Asian, yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of...
India's Asian.
A good mix of East and West Asia.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, like... Well, we have the two superintendents that were here, and which were black, but really that was it.
Yeah, they were great people.
Yeah. It's really weird because I never really sat down and thought about that. Like, our city really doesn't have a whole lot. We're not a small city.
Yeah, I know.
We're not a big city, but we're not a small city either.
Yeah.
Giving little context clues as to where we are.
Yeah. Food for thought for us, really. Sorry, guys.
No, but it's weird.
But like I was saying, you know, with these guys on the down low, and I've heard the stories of if you're that one guy that kind of resists and like, no, you know what, this is not for me, I'm out. Well, then you're the one that bad stuff kind of starts to happen to, right? And it's due to this group setting, right?
Yeah, it's well, he's out. That means that he's gonna tell. Yeah. People are gonna know about us. And it's a fear. It's because they're told that, you know, well, what was it? The whole Kevin Hart thing, in which he made the joke a while back, in which case we're not going to get into that because I have not read a whole lot on that one yet. We tried, and then I actually read into it and was like, nope, scrap that. But the joke in which he made is if my son comes home and says that he's gay, I'm going to break the dollhouse over his head or something like that.
Yeah.
In which case, like, that's the mentality, and I've noticed that that's a lot of the mentality that I see from the quote Americans. I haven't really seen a whole lot of that here, although we do have it because I have been blasted because I'm bisexual.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
You gotta tell them. I guess that wasn't because you were bisexual, but and
yes, I'm bisexual. Hi.
that just reminded me of the Hallmark story.
Oh God, my commitment issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I found out that I was pregnant with our oldest, I went in, like, as soon as I found out, I'm just like, I want to go into Hallmark. I'm going to see what it is that they have there that's all cutesy baby memory stuff and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And spoke to the girl, was like, yeah, no, I just got a, like, positive pregnancy test. She's like, oh, are you married? No, I'm not married because we weren't for our first two. We just didn't really see a point in it. And then I wanted my kid's last name, so I married him for the last name.
Yeah, that's the story.
I love him. But she's like, oh, well, if you're not married yet, that's like you have serious commitment issues. It's like, but I'm having a baby with him. Don't you think that that's a better commitment? Kind of stuck with him for life now. Yeah, right. He's going to be a good dad. I'm not going to take the baby away from him. But no, I got really, really angry. But no, that was before I came out. Yeah. Before I came out as bisexual. Afterwards, it was, you know, I think it was, what was it, the mayor of Toronto?
Oh, sorry. I want to point out that Hallmark story, because of that incident, we have never been in a Hallmark since. Yeah. We're going on 12 years. Yeah. It was kind of the last straw there because, yeah, I barely got an apology for that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, I'm done. Yeah. Thank you. It's all right. Amazon's my new best friend. Yep. So sorry. Yeah. But, yeah, no, it was the mayor. Rob Ford, before he passed away, when he was still mayor, before that whole controversy with him, he didn't want to do the Pride Parade in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was messaging about that one, and no, I do not live in Toronto.
But I was messaging on that one saying, like, because people were bashing bisexuals. And it's like, well, I'm bisexual. And, like, I could care less if he comes to the parade. It's, personal choice. You shouldn't be forced into it no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't care what position you're in.
It's great that if he could get behind that cause and
but if
support
he can't,
it,
what? That's who he is.
Exactly.
We're very accepting of everybody for who they are. It doesn't matter what it is. And yes, as I've told my son, that's everybody. Doesn't matter what it is that you do. I accept you for who you are. Does not mean I have to agree with you. Mm-hmm. I accept Rob Ford's, you're allowed to do whatever it is that you want. You don't want to go to Pride? Don't go to Pride, because you're not going to have a good time. You're just going to be like sitting there scolding, and then you're going to bring down everybody else. Don't come. Don't care.
Rather you not be there, right?
Yeah. And even though we're in Canada, and I've never had any issues before, it was weird when somebody was just like, oh, you're bisexual? You're a pervert. Like, all you think about is sex and, all this sort of stuff. And it's like, no.
That's not...
I appreciate the male and the female body.
Yeah.
I get attracted to the person's mind more so than anything else. Yes, the body's nice. But
it's always nice.
The body can be nice and the brain be dumb. And although we joke every once in a while when you've had, like, your lack of brain power, you're tired or whatever.
Yeah.
Brain goes out the window type deal.
Yeah. Kind of at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah. When you do that, and then that's when I look at him and I say, oh, but you're just so pretty.
Yeah.
But it's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
He's still pretty. I still love him.
I know. But yeah, I mean, that's what we do, right? Like when, we're having those moments of not...
I bust his balls a lot.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, but he's just so pretty, or, and yeah, definitely if they're physically attractive, the brain side of it can be forgave a little bit, for sure. But that's
not
really
when it comes
more
to
of
me.
That's more of a lust kind of thing,
yeah.
Right? Like for a moment, a night of passion.
A guy that I don't know what his brain truly is like say Chris Hemsworth. I don't know what he's like in person.
Mm-hmm.
That is you know what? You have a nice body. I'm just going to admire it.
Yeah.
But if I actually sat down with him and I didn't like his personality, doesn't matter how pretty you are, you're ugly at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, take there's this...
and we are, like, way off topic now.
Yeah, take bigger women, right? What is it
I'm
called?
A bigger woman.
BBWs, I guess. Big
beautiful women.
I know a few of them, and some of them, some people would say that they're ugly just because they're bigger. Well, some of them that I know, they're actually, like, physically, they're, even though, they have the extra weight, they actually have a pretty face, and the way
beautiful.
the way they carry themselves and the way they dress is actually quite beautiful and quite nice. And
there's a few in which I have, like, serious crushes on.
And you get talking to their personality, and it just makes them more beautiful as a person, right?
Yeah.
And we can see their, you see their personality and see what they're like, and it's just, I don't know. For me, it's definitely more about the mind than the physical attributes of a person. And,
yeah, exactly.
If you...
Like, I'm sure sitting down with anybody else, I'm, like, not everybody's cup of tea.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you're not everybody's cup of tea, and a few people have said so when it comes to both of us. Mm-hmm. Just like, no, you know what? I find that you're beautiful people, but you're not attractive to me.
Yeah.
And you know what? To each their own. I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
He is beautiful to me. That's all that matters. He's very kind. He's very loving. He is exactly what it is that I think all men should be. And yes, I boast his ego quite a bit.
Yeah.
But... like, the way that he treats me is the way that every man should treat a woman. And I hope that that's the same the other way. I hope that I treat him the same as, like, every woman should treat a man. I know I have my faults, my fears, and all that sort of stuff that come up from my past. It kind of hinders a lot of it. My disabilities that I have hinder quite a bit of it. But
again,
at the same time,
those are just... A, they're things that can be worked around.
Yeah.
B, they're...
You're understanding.
They're not...
They're not who I am.
For me personally, and what I enjoy, they are a little important to me. But they're not, oh my God, I can't live with you anymore.
Yeah.
Important. You know, like, it's not...
If that was the case, then you wouldn't be able to get past the whole fork on the teeth thing.
Oh, yeah.
In which I don't even realize I'm doing.
I know. And you're not alone. I've had dinner with lots of people that do that, and it...
How are you not over it?
I've learned to just, for the most part, ignore it until... And through kind of conversation and my own kind of eating habits and that, I can ignore it, and I've gotten to a point to where I don't notice it. But if it's on,
and I try not to do it anymore.
And if it's on, but if it's one of those days where I tend to be super
hypersensitive,
paying attention to, like, every little thing that day, you know, and anything, not just that, but just anything, and I go and I sit down with some people. It gives you the heebie-jeebies and drives you up the wall, and
yeah.
But there is one thing that I do hate more than that. and you don't do it. You're really good about it. You don't do it.
No, I don't. I don't like people's eyes. No.
Well, yeah, I guess that's another thing. But no, I'm talking more like people's eating habits and whatnot. It's people that chew like a cow. Honestly, I have looked at people, strangers, that, you know, I've been invited to a dinner. I'm sitting down at dinner, and I've called a stranger out on it. You know, first time it happens, okay, maybe whatever, food was hot, they were trying to cool it down, whatever. But, you know, as the meal goes on, I've noticed that they've done it for pretty much the whole entire meal.
Yeah.
And it's finally like, no, I've literally looked at someone, and I said, can you please chew with your mouth closed? Because if you don't, I am going to fucking smack you in the mouth. It's one of those things.
To each their own, we accept you, but doesn't mean I have to like it.
You know, and having kids,
it's the worst for
it. And part of it's, see, we're in an interesting position, right? Because we've kind of gone through all that, because we have children that are 12 and 10. They're old enough now to know better, and occasionally they need that little reminder, like, nope, finish your food, then talk, or chew with your mouth closed, you know better. Okay, and then it's good for a while. Great. But the young ones, it's like, I love you. You're lucky you're my spawn. Because if you weren't... You know, and then, yes, obviously, I got a weird thing about eyes, too.
Yeah. He'll never be able to wear contacts.
Nope. Nope. I don't care if my glasses end up being a foot long and I need a fucking whole back brace to hold them up. But, no.
Now at that point, you're just blind.
Yeah.
But no, it's, you know what? As a man, don't sit there and be, like, all... oh my God, like, why would you do this? And, you know, all that. Mm-hmm. When it comes to women in these situations, it's what it is that's kind of instilled into us. We need to protect ourselves because nobody else is going to protect us. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If you're feeling like that's a hit at you, maybe you need to take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Right. You're not entitled to feel superior to anybody. And how's about you just get a little bit of empathy and take a look at a woman and see just what it is that she has to go through.
Yeah, and understand that they're coming from a place of fear.
Look
right?
up the percentages of rape.
And
Look
a lot
up,
of men,
like, what is it, 1 in 4?
Are coming from a place of confidence, right?
Yeah. 1 in 4 girls are raped by the time they're an adult.
No.
Which, at that point, you're talking about a quarter of the population, a quarter of the female population even, so you're cutting it down even more to where, she's already had that experience. She's already been violated. She's already been harmed. So, of course, she's going to look at you as a man and be scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's, think of it as, I don't know, how can I put this to where a guy would kind of understand a little bit more. You're in a car accident, you fall off of a cliff, or, even better, you're in the army, you fight in Afghanistan, you see your buddy blown up beside you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have that fear. You have, tons of PTSD people who are coming back from the war and who are scary because they have the training, but scared. It's kind of like our dog. She's more scared than scary. Like, she's a scary dog. But she's more scared. It's not that she's scary, it's that she's scared. And it's the same thing. We're not sitting here as women thinking that, all men are out to get us. We're just worried, well, what if that one man
is
that guy?
Yeah.
We're not thinking that, all men are idiots, all men are rapists, all men are assholes. We're not thinking that. Although we do, like, you and I joke quite a bit about men are stupid, let's throw rocks at them. In general, it doesn't matter. Men, women, we're all stupid in general, like as a whole populace. My personal opinion. Take a look at what's in the media anymore. Mm-hmm. And humans are stupid. Therefore, boys are stupid. But so are girls.
Yeah, and there's,
it's equal opportunity for both sides.
It really does go both ways. Like, I mean,
but women aren't
I'm not
scared.
talking specifically rape, but I mean, I'm just talking about
abuse in general.
Being unintelligent, our moments of unintelligence. There's just as many men that are like that, and it's easy for us, oh man, boys are being stupid. There's just as many as girls as oh, girls are being stupid. And
well, look at what it is that you see. Women who are constantly attacking other women for stupid stuff. Like, hey, you know what? Your man cheated on you, but she didn't know about you. That's not her fault.
Right.
That's his fault.
Yeah.
He's being stupid. Yeah. But you're being stupid for blaming both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially
you should be blaming the one.
When the other woman had no clue. She thought
it's not her
he
fault.
Was single and
Yeah, it's not her fault. And unfortunately, a lot of women feel that way. A lot of women end up acting that way. I'm sure I was no picnic in the early days. Now it's just like, you know what? It's okay. Your balls are mine. Yeah. I'm more confident in myself now.
But
kind of guys in general, they're scary, and it's not the individual guy. It's, well, what happens if that is the guy?
Yeah.
What happens if I'm not in a safe place right now?
Yeah. I don't know. But, going back to, boys being stupid or guys being stupid, another thing in that commercial they mentioned, oh, boys will be boys. Well,
that's dangerous.
At a time, sure, I get it. It made sense. Boys will be boys, and it was
from
just
the way that they were raised at that point.
The way they were raised, what was socially accepted at the time.
Women were not classified as humans.
Yeah.
We were classified as the lesser species.
But there's a point in the commercial where there's two young boys, they're maybe 8 years old, and they're wrestling around. Well, it gets a little more physical than just tossing around. And
another way to look at it
they
is
say boys will be boys, but eventually the dad steps in and says no, look, this is not how we treat people. And I have an older brother, only a couple of years older, and him and I, we fought like cat and dogs, and we heard that a lot growing up, boys will be boys. I have two.
You have 4 in total.
I have 4 boys. I mean, yeah,
and
she's
they pair off.
Yeah.
These 2 fight. These two fight.
Right? But, you know, I see now that I just can't say... personally, I can't say boys will be boys, because I hated fighting with my brother.
Mm-hmm. And that's not what it is that I want as a relationship between brothers.
And he's always been twice my size, but he's learned on many occasions, don't fuck with me. Mm-hmm. I will stand up for myself. I will hit back.
Yeah.
And there does come a point where the little brother hits back and hits back hard. He learned that the hard way. It sucks that I had to come to that, but unfortunately that's the way he had to learn. He fits that stereotype male.
Yeah,
right?
He's he tries to be the big macho guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get into him.
Yeah, I know, that's a whole nother...
Let's back away from that one.
But anyway, but with my boys, you know, we're trying to teach them, you can be strong, stand up for yourself, but you don't have to turn to violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's another thing, like Brock Turner. Yeah, that whole situation. That was a boys will be boys.
Yeah. Right?
And he raped a woman.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not right. He got such a low sentence because boys will be boys, and he's done so much good. Yeah. And that hurts not only the women.
He's some kind of...
It hurts the men.
He's some kind of athletic star. Let's give him a lesson. Oh, yeah, that brings up some feelings.
Any guy who goes after a girl, whether it's she's drunk or she's not, any guy that goes after a girl whom is not coming after him physically. That's just it. I believe in equal rights between the two.
She
should not be hitting him. He should not be hitting her.
Right.
She should not be raping him. He should not be raping her. Nor should neither one of them get a lenient sentence. Yeah. It's the same as, you know, those women who have come forward with a fake claim should be punished to the extent of the law.
Oh, I agree. Because something like that.
And it hurts us as women because then we're all labeled as, you know, you're coming to me as, like, your story is fake.
Yeah, and look, I am so glad I am not in the dating world right now. Because, honestly, I would be terrified if things went well and I went back to this girl's house.
And you know what? I get that. I do. And, you know, it's a lot of the thing in which guys are saying. It's, you know, well, I'm scared of this and I'm scared of that because, you know, she could do this. And she could. It's a very, very low amount of women who do it. Yeah, but... Because it's like, that's not something that you fuck with. And if you do come out and say
that can affect my...
Yeah, it can...
The whole rest of my life,
For
right?
sure.
I'm innocent and, you know, I'm in the right, you know...
But according to the judge of public opinion...
I'm guilty because...
You're guilty because you're a man. Yeah. And that I find is wrong. It doesn't matter what it is. Male or female, you are innocent until proven guilty in my eyes, and I'm very unbiased when it comes to a lot of stuff. You could be fucking Charles Manson, and you're still innocent until proven guilty. Show me the evidence before I take a stance on either side. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, like when it comes to women who come out and say these things, it's hurting us.
Yeah, obviously he did it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's hurting us as women, but you're also hurting that man because he doesn't deserve it. And I think that maybe that's why I'd make a really good juror. I'm kind of screwed in that sense. I don't want to do it, but at the same time...
You kind of want to... You'd give one of the fairest opinions.
I don't judge people based on hearsay. I've had lots of people in which I know that people are having a beef with. And it's just like, well, I'm not having a beef with them. And just because you say that something's wrong, then doesn't mean that it actually is, and I'll give them a fair chance.
Yeah.
When they mess up, that's when the problem is. Yeah, you
call them out on it, right? And that's just it. And it's funny because my wife and I, we have a couple examples. So we know some of the same people, and we kind of knew them. We knew them before we knew.
I know where this is going.
Before we knew each other, and the interesting thing is that she had one experience with them, and I had a different one, and it's like, okay, I'll kind of cut to the chase a little bit because
my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, her ex-boyfriend. You know, she had, like, he didn't beat her or anything like that, but just the way he was with her, he thought he would
was abusive in the sense of, you know what, I'm the man, I'm in control, you are my servant.
Yeah, exactly.
He was respectful in some in some instances. He never pressured sex on me or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he cheated on me because I wasn't providing.
Right.
But your experience with them, complete 180.
Like, this guy was one of my best friends, and we hung out. He taught me how to play pool and play it well. Actually, I got quite proficient at it, and you know, I had a great time. He's helped me out, and I've helped him out, and like best buddies. Like, we hung out every day, and
after I broke up with him,
their relationship
before
was
him and I met, before my husband and I met,
and and it's so weird, right? Like, it's a
180. Yeah, it's a complete 180.
And, you know, I did end up seeing, through another friend, I did end up seeing his true colors eventually come through.
Yeah.
But again, that other friend, all the things, because she told me what was going on, and I was quite informed.
And this was before you and I met.
And I was just like, I remember having conversations with my other friend and being like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm in disbelief.
No, you're wrong. Like, that's not who it is.
That's not who he is. I'm telling you, I hang out with this guy. I've seen him every day for a good while, and like, no, that's not him. I'm like, I just can't believe that he's doing this. But I never once said,
you're lying.
You're lying. No, you're making that shit up. No, it's, no. And I stopped being her friend. No. I stood by her, and
for quite a while afterwards.
I did see the things that he was doing
so
to
much
her,
so that she liked you.
I was just like, oh my God. And I felt bad for her. She got a really raw deal with this guy, and I just thought, I really didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah.
And I got a hard lesson in...
And then you met me and was just like, wait, you, him, huh?
Yeah. But
what
I'm trying to say is, like I got a hard lesson in... I kind of learned...
Just because somebody is treating you well doesn't mean that they're a good person.
Exactly. And, you know, it's interesting when if you watch stories about murderers and violent people and things like that.
Was it the BTK? Yeah, BTK killer. Yeah. Nicest family guy out there. Mm-hmm. And then just turns around and murders people.
Yeah.
And it's weird, especially, you know, what those initials stand for. What was it? Like, beat, torture, kill?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, like, family man.
Yeah, family man.
His children are just like, no, the nicest guy that we could ever know. And you know,
surprised that it was him,
and that's just it. That's why it is that women are so afraid. It's just like, you might seem like the nicest guy, and I've seen it so many times on different different Twitter accounts that I'm a part of. She's like, yeah, they start out as this really nice guy, but the woman denies him once, or just says like, oh, I can't go out this weekend, or something like that. Yeah. And he does a complete 180 and changes his perspective and ends up being the scariest thing that you've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what it is that we're afraid of. You might seem like the nicest guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are.
Yeah.
And that's why we're weary. When you and I first met, I'd like go across the room and try to run away from him to get a feel for him, because I was already afraid of everything. And he kept coming closer and closer.
Persistence.
Persistence. 2 years persistence.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should probably end this here.
We'll tell that story another time.
Another time, yeah. How we met. We'll do like, what is it, the old draw my life type deal, but without the drawing?
Yeah.
I'll tell you everything. Almost. You keep that one story like to yourself.
You'll have to tell me after.
You're gonna know. You'll be like, oh, right. But anyway, we're gonna end this here. Like, subscribe, comment if you're able to. I haven't been able to find anything on Spotify that you could do that with or anything. But if not, you can find us on Twitter. I'm Mistress Magi with Magi.
Now this is where it gets interesting, because I'm gonna have her tell you my Twitter handle, because
Real Mr. Magi.
Real Mr. See, she set it up, right?
I did. I set it up.
You can message me. I will interact with you, but
yeah, he's more of a conversations guy and not a tweet all the time guy. Yeah. If you see a tweet, more than likely it's me. But you can also search us on Facebook and Instagram. Both of those are Mistress Magi as well. All right, but we're going to end this here. We love you, and we hope that you come back. And we really, really, really love our, at least the one state in which is constantly watching or listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, comment, say hi. Tell us what it is that you want us to talk about, and it'll get interesting. Mm-hmm. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Bye.